3 episodes in, and if you've been paying attention, you've noticed something. Every time Ryan gets close to the truth, something happens. He gets confused. He apologizes. He closes the drawer. But last episode, something shifted. Jade called, and Ryan, for the first time, didn't close the drawer all the way. Something is waking up in him. Slowly, reluctantly. And Serena feels it. She doesn't know exactly what changed, but she feels the temperature shift. And she responds the way a narcissist always responds when they sense they're losing control. She tightens. This is episode 4, The Tightening. And this one is gonna hurt. 3 days after Jade's call, Ryan does something he has never done before in a relationship. He starts writing things down. Not a diary, not a letter, just a record. Dates, conversations, things that were said, things that were denied. He's not sure why he's doing it. He tells himself it's nothing, that he's being paranoid. But his hand keeps moving across the page. She said she was home, 11 p.m. Marcus's message said, last night was. She told me they were just friends. She said she told me they stayed in touch. I don't remember her saying that. He underlines the last sentence. Then he stares at it for a long time. He puts the notebook away. He doesn't know what he's building yet. He doesn't have a word for what he's doing. But some part of him, the part that has been quietly suffocating for weeks, understood before the rest of him did.
He needs proof that he's not crazy, because someone has been making him feel crazy. They meet for coffee 2 days later. On the surface, everything is fine. Ryan is warm. He asks about her week. He laughs at the right moments. But Serena is reading him the way she always reads people, microscopically. And something is different. He's slightly more contained than usual. His laugh is half a beat slower. When she touches his arm, he doesn't lean in the way he used to. These are tiny things. Things no one else would notice. Serena notices everything. She brings up Jade, casually, like it just occurred to her. Have you talked to her since she called? Ryan says no, which is true. He keeps his voice neutral, which is new. Serena watches him say it, and she knows he's lying about the neutral. She smiles and changes the subject. But in her mind, an adjustment has been made. A calculation updated. Ryan is pulling back, which means she is losing supply. Which means she needs to do what narcissists always do when supply decreases. She needs to increase the dose. Over the next week, Serena turns up the volume. More messages, more calls, more of the early intensity, the love-bombing energy that hooked him in the first place. She shows up at his workplace with lunch. She plans a weekend trip. She talks about the future in ways she hasn't before. To anyone watching from the outside, this looks like a woman falling harder. To Ryan, it feels like being flooded. The part of him that loves her, the part that remembers the first weeks, the warmth, the feeling of being the only person in the room. That part responds, immediately, hungrily. But the other part, the newer part, the part that started writing things down, that part notices something. The intensity increased right after Jade called. Not because Serena's feelings grew,
but because Ryan's certainty started to. This is reactive love bombing. When a narcissist senses a partner pulling away, they flood the relationship with affection, not out of love, but out of the need to maintain control. It's a reset button, a reminder of what you'd be losing. It works almost every time. Almost. Ryan opens his notebook. He writes one sentence. Why did everything get more intense right after Jade called? He stares at it. Then he writes one more word underneath. Pattern. Friday night, Serena's apartment. She's made dinner, candles, soft music. She's wearing the dress she knows he loves. This is a performance, one of her best. And Ryan sits across from her thinking, maybe I've been wrong about everything. Because this is the cruelty of it. She is genuinely beautiful. The dinner is genuinely good. The music is genuinely perfect. And the feeling of sitting across from someone who has chosen you, even if the choosing is a performance, that feeling is real. Ryan's love is real. His feelings are real. The tragedy of loving a narcissist is not that nothing feels good. It's that some things feel extraordinary. And you spend the rest of the relationship trying to get back to those moments. Then Serena does something new. She reaches across the table and takes his hand. Her eyes are soft, almost vulnerable. She says, I know things have been hard lately. I know I'm not always easy. Ryan goes very still. In 5 weeks, this is the first time she has acknowledged that anything between them has been difficult. The first time the word I has appeared in a sentence that wasn't followed by what she gave, what she deserves, or what he did wrong. Ryan doesn't know whether to cry or run. He doesn't either. He squeezes her hand and says, I know, me too. And Serena smiles. The small, private smile of someone who just tested a new tool and found that it works. Vulnerability, performed vulnerability, is the most powerful weapon in the advanced narcissist's arsenal. Because it disarms the person who was finally starting to build a defense. Ryan leaves at midnight. He drives home feeling something complicated. Not happiness exactly. More like relief. Like a man who almost jumped off a ledge and pulled back at the last moment. He tells himself things are going to be okay. Serena closes the door behind him. The warmth disappears in the time it takes to turn the lock. She sits down, opens her phone. Marcus has been texting all evening. She ignored him during dinner. Now she reads back through the messages. He wants to see her. He's been patient, he thinks. He's been careful, he thinks. He deserves her attention, he thinks. Marcus doesn't know he's in a triangle. He thinks he's the backup. He doesn't know there were others. He thinks if he's honest, that he loves her. Serena starts typing a response. Then she stops. She thinks about Ryan, about the notebook she didn't see but suspects, about the way his eyes were different at the cafe. She thinks about control and how she almost lost some of it. And she makes a decision that changes the story. She doesn't text Marcus back tonight. Instead, she opens a different conversation, a name we haven't seen before. Daniel. She types, "Hey stranger, I've been thinking about you." 3 men, 3 conversations, 3 sources of supply running in parallel. Ryan doesn't know about Marcus. Marcus doesn't know about Ryan. Neither of them knows about Daniel. And Serena, sitting alone in the apartment that smells like the dinner she made for the man she performed vulnerability for, feels something finally settle. The balance of power has been restored. She is in control again. The next morning, Ryan is at his desk and can't concentrate. He keeps replaying the dinner, the vulnerability she showed, the way her eyes looked. And then, underneath that, something else. A question he can't silence. He takes out the notebook. He reads back through the entries, the dates, the contradictions, the pattern he's been slowly, reluctantly building. And for the first time, he reads it not as a paranoid man looking for problems, but as a fair witness to his own experience.
The evidence was always there. He wrote it himself. The message from Marcus, the rewritten history, the apology he gave for something that wasn't his fault, the way the intensity surged right after he started pulling back, the performed vulnerability last night, timed perfectly to disarm him. He sees the shape of it now. Not completely. Not yet. But enough. He closes the notebook. He sits very still at his desk for a long time. And then he does something that will alter the trajectory of everything that follows. He calls Jade back. This call is different from the last one. Last time, Ryan called to report Jade to Serena, to maintain the loyalty that had been demanded of him. This time, he calls to listen. Really listen. Jade answers on the second ring, and Ryan says 4 words that Jade has been waiting to hear since the dinner 3 weeks ago. He says, "Tell me what you've seen." Jade takes a breath, and she tells him. Not everything, not yet, but enough. She tells him about the man before Ryan, about how it started exactly the same way, about how it ended. She tells him about the pattern she has watched Serena repeat across 6 years and 3 relationships. And Ryan listens without interrupting, without defending, without closing the drawer. When Jade finishes, there is a long silence. Ryan says, "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" Jade says, "I tried. You told me she said I would." Another silence. And then Ryan says the truest thing he has said in 2 months. "I know." Across the city, Serena's phone buzzes. It's Ryan. A text. Short, measured, missing the warmth she's used to. "Hey, busy tonight. Talk tomorrow." She reads it 3 times. She knows what's happening. She's felt this before. The slow pulling away, the shift in tone, the beginning of the end of her control. And Serena Vale does not lose control. Not without a fight. Not without making it cost everything. Episode 5, The Victim. Because when a narcissist loses the power position, they don't just fight back. They burn it down. And they make sure you're holding the match. The tightening, the reactive love bombing, the performed vulnerability at exactly the right moment. These are not coincidences. These are not someone having a bad day. This is a system. And systems have patterns. If someone in your life increases their affection every time you start to pull away, not because you asked for more love, but because you started asking questions, write that down. Patterns don't lie, even when people do. Subscribe to Pretty Poison, New episode every week. You are not paranoid. You are paying attention. Pretty poison. Trust the pattern.